I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes, listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. Come up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you, tell you I need you, and tell you I set you apart. When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, and the bullets catching her teeth. Life goes on, it gets so heavy, the wheel breaks the butterfly, every tear a waterfall. In the night, the stormy night, she closed her eyes. In the night, the stormy night, away she flies. The tree of paradise.
Chris Martin is here. He's the lead singer of the rock quartet Coldplay. The band's debut album in 2000 was Parachute. Chris Martin is also an advocate for fair trade practices in an effort to reduce world poverty. I'm pleased to welcome Chris Martin to this table for the first time.
Hi, Joe.
Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. So, you know, not only are you about to go off to Japan to finish up a world tour,
Australia
and Japan, but you've got another project. Just recently, a new son.
Yeah.
Just not even 3 weeks old while we're talking. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Moses Martin. Your daughter Apple has a biblical name in a way too. It's like you started with the book of Genesis and you moved on to Exodus now. Okay, was that the plan from the very start?
Everything is planned meticulously according to biblical proportions.
You're the oldest of 5 children. How big a family do you anticipate having?
17, 20.
Really? Can't wait to get back to work, can you? Project.
I'd like to be married at least 12 times.
Being a father yourself, how has it changed your perspective on who you are and what you do?
Well, I think it puts everything you do into sharp relief, and it makes you more focused, I think. We were focused before. I think everyone would say it makes you realize what priorities are. Going bowling isn't such a big deal to me anymore.
Were you a big bowler before this?
Not huge, but I mean, it had to go. So, you know, I've only kept on the things that I really love.
You have less time for what's unessential?
I have less time for, exactly what's unessential.
Now,
I don't go dry skiing nearly so often.
When did you first begin performing?
In a professional manner.
Well, say before that, as a child.
Well, I had a teacher. Well, I mean, you know, my dad came home from Venice one time with my mum, and they gave me this, I suppose you'd call it a ukulele. I didn't call it that, I couldn't pronounce it. How old were you? Maybe 7 or 6. And they forced me out into the streets to they gave me that, and then they were always encouraging me to play and do, you know, they never constricted me in any way. So I'm sure done something at Christmas or something. But the first concert I remember doing was probably 10 or 11. I had a great teacher called Stephen who came into our school and said to everyone, you don't have to be classically trained to do music, you don't have to be able to read music, to write music. And he sort of tore up the rule book in our school, which was kind of a strict school. And so I just loved hearing that, and so I started writing little melodies when I was about 10.
You were then playing the piano?
I was more, I don't know if the piano was more sort of Pet Shop Boys keyboard. I would stand behind the keyboard very proudly, which I would never do now.
But you gravitated towards the piano, because I know in high school you often spent a sleepless night in a practice room playing the piano.
Actually, it's more of a sort of, I'm like a Salt Lake City music. I'm Have you seen that show Big Love?
Yes.
Where he has 3 wives?
Yes.
So that's how I am with singing and piano and guitar.
Those are your 3 wives.
So they're my 3 sort of non-wife wives. And most people think that I spend most time with the piano, but in fact behind closed doors, I'm just as fond of the guitar. I don't know if I can say that. But
You mean the piano will get jealous?
I don't want to get anyone jealous or anything, but I love them more equally. I don't like being thought of just someone who just plays piano because I don't actually play the piano that well. So I don't want to pretend that's my only trick.
Well, you're playing the Pet Shop Boys keyboard. You're in school.
Yeah.
At what point did it start to appeal to you that this was something that you wanted to do?
Well,
to make a career or build a life around?
even at 11, girls were a lot nicer to me when I just stood behind the keyboard for 5 minutes than when I just, played golf for 5 minutes or whatever. I didn't ever play golf. I think, but that's one aspect, maybe like 10%, but as cheesy as it sounds, just felt like that was my thing. I still get the same kick out of it, even today, like being in the studio all day, just writing and trying to think of new things. It feels the same as every day.
Let's talk about your writing process. When you are writing a song, where does it come from?
Well, that's the $100 billion question. You work for Warner Brothers. It's, which I might do. Nobody knows where it comes from. It's like being a fisherman, you can have all the rods and all the, jackets, but you can't really make fish come to you. But I just sit and play and play and play and wait, and when a good song comes, or what I deem to be a good song, you might disagree, it's the editor of the Stone. But when a good song comes, I don't have any idea where it's coming from. All I can say is it's just time. I just put the hours in.
So for you, it's a search every time.
Yes, yeah. Because I think if you design a song, it's never as great as the song that just arrives. So I can sit down and write a song now about this beautiful round table, the grain and all that. But it would maybe be a little contrived, more than if I just waited and see what came out.
And do you start with music or with lyrics?
I start with something that surprises me. So, like you're talking about piano and guitar, when I feel like I've played too much piano and I know what I'm doing too much, I stop and I pick up the guitar and detune it all so that I don't know what I'm doing. Which is to me the best way. I think that if you're totally naive about what you're doing, you can come up with something great, even if you then realise it's actually a really simple chord sequence, or it's the same chord sequence as yesterday. But that's how I get excited about it, is when I hear something that I haven't heard before. Even if it's just a chord or some change or something.
So literally flying blind is important for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you about the songs on X and Y. There are a lot of lyrics about feeling lost and broken.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a song like Fix You, where there's a really great lyric from Talk that's very straightforward. Do you feel like a puzzle, can't find your missing piece?
You think that's a great lyric?
I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's very simple.
It's so funny at this point because anything you do, someone says it's great, someone says it's terrible.
Well, I think what people miss about that is that it's very plain, and therefore it is a feeling that you can relate to very easily.
I think if we can take that one thing, it's making plain glamorous.
Well, let me ask you about those lyrics on X and Y. What was it that was lost, or what needed fixing?
Life has got complications and lots of people around me have things going on. I don't always have to write about myself or my own experience. There's a song called The Scientist on the album before that, which most people think is about me or something, but it isn't. It's about this guy I know. So maybe at that time, it was at the time of writing all those songs, there was, I don't want to be down, but there was a lot of people kind of dying around us.
The album is dedicated to your wife's late father.
Yeah, among other people, Bruce Paltrow, who I never actually got to meet, but I came to admire very much, I always have people who come up to me somewhere in the Midwest or something, and they say, "Oh, you know, Bruce Paltrow gave me my first break." You know, so to me it's apparent that he was a great guy. So I'm very proud to have done that. But it's dedicated to other people. But also, I don't know why, but those lyrics just seem to come out. Now it's gone somewhere else. But at that period, that's what I was singing about. Maybe because I was confused about all the changes going on in my life.
And the changes going on in your life were moving towards marriage and fatherhood?
Everything, and becoming famous and